Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Evelyn C. Ganot, and tonight I will be discussing capabilities of Google Drive and Google Sites. So first off, we have the outline of the presentation, which will cover the definition of Google Drive, the definition of Google Site, and comparison of Google Drive and Google Site between storing team documents and project announcement. So first off, we have here the Google Drive. So it is a cloud service that comes with a privacy. So it comes with a privacy because um, you have to put your email and your password before accessing the Google Drive. So second, it is a free service from Google, but then um, as far as I remember, June 2021, nag-impose sila or nag-update sila, and it is 15 gig na lang per account. So before pandemic is wala pa to siya kanang limit as long as nakay Gmail account or Google account. So it allows you to store files and access them anywhere. So pwede mo siya ma-access in any devices as long as ma-login nimo imong email and password and accessible siya. And it offers a free software suite. So it includes word processor and many others for documents, spreadsheets. So, diba, pag maggamit ka o Google Docs, kay diri ani mo siya i-store, i-save. And oh, presentation, spreadsheets, forms, drawings, and others. And also Google Site. Um, it is popular, abot kong popular kay popular mas ako ah. So it is most popular cloud storage service that are suitable to day-to-day basis. Popular siya. Next off, we have the Google site. So it is an app. It is a website building platform from Google that is formerly part of the workspace. So, formerly G Suite. Suite ba na? Suite ba na siya? So, it allows you to choose a theme. So, basically, Google site is magbuhat ka og website. So, more siya Canva na ana siya yung theme daan. Ikaw na lang mag-input kung sa imo ganahan ibutang. So, you are allowed to choose a theme and customize it in any way you want for a professional looking site. Example is katong Google Classroom, wala man nagamit ang so katong Classroom is nagamit sila og um, site para magbuhat og kanang same sa sa Mindanao na LMS. Pero man to siya. Kani kay katong Google Classroom kay under siya sa pwede siya under sa Google site. Okay? So, yeah. For a professional looking site that looks and function great across all desktop and mobile screens. So, ang katong Google Classroom is pwede siya website, pwede pa siya sa phone mo gamiton. Pero na siya app at the or na siya app. So, it creates high quality websites since no programming or design skills needed. It creates themes that that help make your content stand out. It optimizes your work so it looks great on desktop. Okay? Pag ano na lang, play with colors na lang siguro. Sa imo na lang ng part. Oxy. And next is it is designed for collaboration. Just like in documents, you can work together. Wait, nakoy pakita later. And see each other's changes in real time as you type. Okay. It is, yeah, basically, it is under Google Sites. I mean Google Drive since dito man mo siya gihapon i-save. Okay. Um, You only need to store a file in Drive on one device, and it will automatically be available on all your other devices. O, um, pwede po siya shareable as long as allowed to nimo siya na person. So, next off, we have the capabilities of Google Drive and Google Sites under storing team documents and project announcements. So, under storing team documents, we have here the Google Drive. It can use Google Drive as a single place to store, access, and share files. Yeah. Naka-share screen. So, di ba, Google Drive, naaman siya, example, kaning diri sa ako ang account. Naa siya shared with me, kani. So, kani mga nag-share ni sa ako, shared file, shared by Leones. So, wait. I-open ta ni, kani kay sa amo ang org man siya. So, di ba, kani I mean, sa amo ang thesis di ay. So, kani kay, yeah, puro shared by Miss Eliseo. Okay? Wala. So, pag starting team documents, so, pwede nimo maka-shared with me pwede niya i-shared with me tong iyang file sa katong creator. Okay? Yeah. So, kanilang is, kailangan niya i-access, like, na settings diri. Hindi, puno na akong device. Wait. Natoy something diri na, okay, diri na lang. Like, example kani, pwede na ko ni siya like, mag-add ko og editor. Oo, ganun. So, mag-add na ko something, ganun. Then, pwede na ko siya i-share sa iya ang link or kan ka to. Kani, get link, copy link, pag restricted. Kung gusto ka na link lang ang mapasa sa iya. Okay, copy na ganyan. Next is we have the Google Sites. Google Sites uses your Google Drive account to store images and files you share on your site, so you can even store up to 15 gig of files for your sites for free and shared with your other Google apps. Ang kanila is, wait, same lang gihapon siya. Like, katong naay, same lang gihapon siya sa Google Drive. Like, na atong, like, I know. Sorry. Kani. Like, kani. Kakit sa meaning. Kani. Like, link lang gihapon siya. You can share the site you're working on with your entire team, but, like, dili siya, like, kailangan gihapon siya restricted access sa sa owner, sa kung pwede magbuhat ato na site through sharing settings. So, wait lang. Try na ko. Wala pa ako ka-try aning Google site. So, mag-try ta aning event. Magbuhat tag site sa event. Okay, wait. Loading. So, dili dara. Kani, yan. Pwede ta maka-shared with others. For a while. Loading. Ayan. So, yeah. Basically, mura ra gyapon siya Google Docs. Pwede mo mag-share. Na sample, i-share na ko kay sa akong self. Yan. Okay, no. Pwede siya ma-editor, ma-publish as viewer lang or editor, and then send. So, mag-notify na sa iya. So, pwede namin mag-work as one upon making Google site. Okay, next is project announcement. It relays announcement using Google Classroom. So, basically uses Google Sites para maka-announce ka o Google Drive ay maka-announce ka using Google Drive. Kay pag Google Drive itself lang, wala kay maasahan. Like, wala asa man ka mag-announce diri sa shared with me. Like, nag-post ko, so dili man na pwede. Pwede sa GC, sa Facebook, or sa Messenger. Pero diri kay wala man. So, pwede siya, Google Classroom ka mag-ano. Mag-announce like klase-klase. Next is Google site under project announcement under Google site. So it has a feature of announcement banner na pwede nimo gamiton within the website na imong gibuhat. So andiri like na ay ahat kani sa settings na siya dara announcement banner. Like mag-message ka diri iwasan na ninyo. Learn. Tapos, pwede po din mo siya i-homepage or ano. Okay. So, wait. Oo. Color pink. Ano? Home. Sa home. Button. Button. Wala. Okay na. Nawala. Homepage na lang. Tanawa na to sa homepage. O dara. Na siya, itiwasan na ninyo na button. Haha. So, to kung gibuhat ko ganino. So, mao lang. Basically, um, ang Google site is mag-store gihapon siya sa Google Drive. I mean, tanang files nga located ay nga gibuhat nimo sa imong Google sites is ma-store gihapon siya sa Google Drive. And like katubong uban like spreadsheets, docs, katong forms, workspace, everything. So that's all. Thank you.
So, good evening, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Charmilin Leseo. I'm going to discuss about the work assignments, the source materials of Google Drive and Google Sites. So now, since we've already discussed or the definition about the Google Drive and Google Site, now let's proceed to the work assignments and source materials. So, the work assignments of Google Drive is once a student submits their assignment, their permissions change to view, and the instructor owns the file. The file stays in the student's drive but can't be edited until returned by the instructor or unsubmitted by the student. So for this works both way. So a student, for instance, a student can unsubmit and resubmit work before a due date. For example, if a student realizes that they submitted the wrong file, they can unsubmit it and then upload the correct one. Students can unsubmit their work after a due date. However, if they have an extra time before the due date, they can unsubmit their assignments, make improvements, and then you submit. So for student privacy, its submitted assignments appear as not turned into the instructor. So this is the files that can be only accepted in a Google Drive. So such as Google Docs, Google Sheets or Google Slides, the Microsoft Word, Excel or the PowerPoint, the PDF, the image files, text files, the video files such as the MP, MPEG4, the 3GPP, the MOV, and etc. So assignments automatically converts Microsoft Office files to Google format, then saves a copy of the files to your Google Drive in the assignment folder. So another definition is how these assignments work. So assignments is an add-on application for learning management system or the LMS As we already know, we have these elements on the Blackboard UN, right? So this is going to help you distribute, analyze, and read student work with Google Workspace for Education. Assignment makes Google Docs and Google Drive compatible with your elements for file submissions. You can use assignments to save time distributing and grading student work and analyze student submission with your originality reports to ensure authenticity. Now let's proceed to Google Sites Works assignment. So Google Sites provides an online venue for posting content meant to share with a broader audience. Teachers and students can use sites as a portfolio of their work and share it with parents, extended family, college recruiters, potential employers, and others. So now this is the basic format, or this is the basic ways when you're going to use the Google Sites. For instance, number one is to review. Review your link, whether it is external or internal links. So review this common sense media called who's it anyway. Another is to reflect. Reflect on your classroom practices on citing sources. For instance, do you have any set expectation, or is there any room for improvement? What are your expectations of students for citing sources when posting the work of of others on Google Sites? Lastly, would you consider teaching this lesson to your students? Finally, is to submit. Submit your reflection as evidenced by clicking on the Submit Assignment Reflect button in the top right corner of this page. Now let's proceed to source materials of Google Drive. So as we all know, Google Drive is so beneficial to us, especially we are learning online. So this is the best ways of using Google Drive in e-learning. Number one is to store data and files remotely, so never lose learning materials. Google Drives gives you the ability to store videos, photos, images, and documents remotely, so that you won't ever have to lose another important file again. So they can all be stored in one centralized location. For instance, the cloud, which means that you can access learning materials anywhere. For example, if you've created a file that is an integral part of your deliverable and your hard drive crashes, you can still view and edit that file through Google Drive. So this boosts cost efficiency, which means because you won't ever have to devote resources to redoing it, or to redoing a document, or the PowerPoint, or the Google Docs, or project that has been lost or corrupted. Another ways is to offer immediate revisions and edits on learners' material. So you can view and edit learners' work in real time, which means that you can leave immediate feedback and suggest corrections that will help them to fine tune their assignments. This is beneficial for many reasons. So, for example, if a learner is taking the wrong approach to solving a problem. Using a self-guided course, you can offer the learner immediate support. So this helps to correct ineffective learning behaviors before they can root in the learner's mind and enables you to show them the correct method or approach. Now, to sum it up, Google Drive offers so many benefits for e-learning professionals. As I've mentioned earlier, this is best of all and it's free. So this means that you can use this powerful application to transform any e-learning course or module into a highly immersive, collaborative, and interactive environment, even if budget constraints would normally make all of this next to impossible. Now, lastly, so source materials of Google Sites. Google Site Editor allows you to add many pages as you want. If you want to make in a website, this is the good tool for you. So, for instance, you can add a page for assignments, another for resources. So each page represents a unique virtual hub where you and your student add relevant educational content. Another is you can add various content types to your site, including text, images, videos, and more images. You can easily move added content around. So this is helpful collaborative feature you can use to invite others to help with settling or populating your site. Now this is my report and that's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good day. Once again, I am London Crispin. I will continue to discuss with you guys the last part of this topic, differences in the capabilities of Google Drive and Google Sites in terms of their illustrations, electronic presentation, and web page interest. So now we know that Drive is the most popular cloud service in the world. In fact, anyone with a Google account automatically gets a Drive account as well. This means that if you're a Google user, you don't have to go through the hassle of creating a separate account for your online storage. This makes Drive a convenient solution for anyone who needs to upload and share files via online, while Google Sites make it simple to exhibit your team's work with easy access to all your content with Google Workspace, whether it's a Drive folder, a Word doc, or even shared calendar. Google Illustrations. In terms of Google Illustrations, to give everyone more safe, creative, and personalized options for profile pictures, Google Drive introduced this new Google Illustrations, whereas Google Illustrations are a collection of customizable images that anyone can use to design the image of their choice to represent them across mostly in Google products. As you can see, the new Google illustrations are located when you set your profile picture in Google Workspace and contacts on Android. You can easily access them easily in your profile picture in the top right corner of the app of the Gmail account. You can adjust illustrations, colors, and photos to your taste. This is the example of Google Illustrations. So as soon as you create and save your profile picture, your friends, family, and people you connect with will be able to see it across many Google products. You can also use these illustrations in Google Sites through the services that includes Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Drawings, Google Forms, Google Keep, and many more. Electronic presentation. In terms of electronic presentation, here comes the Google Slides. The Google Slides is a presentation program provided by Google whereas you can create and show slides in visual form to support the presentation of your work. So the purpose of the Google Slides can be used to create professional presentation by combining various text effects, the graphics, and multimedia content available to the features in Google Slides. Whereas learning to present these slides can improve your employability as it is also one of the most useful presentation software. Web page interest. Google Sites is often used to provide information to viewers, including pictures or videos to help illustrate important topics. You can create a website to share info with others using Google Sites. It may be also used as a method to sell your products or services to viewers. To sum it up, um, Google products creates opportunity and helpfulness for those students like us that nothing else does. Whether a student is searching a regular search using Google Scholar or Google Docs, they are going to get a helping hand that will provide a better opportunity to learn by using these tools. As the years pass by, the Google is used more and more by the students, and the consistent preference is there. So that's the end of my slides, and so hope you know the differences of Google Sites and Google Slides.